Alright, this video is going to be setting up the Tetris game. So the way that this works is you actually have to have the endpoint of the game completely done. And then we'll make it into a video of you moving the pieces down, them disappearing and moving down a little bit farther in the coming video after that one. So we're going to go to new. This one's going to be a standard assembly file. And what I'm using for reference, and we are going to change a little bit of this one, but I'm going to be using this as kind of just a reference of where I want the pieces to be for that. And so I have this on my other screen just so that you're kind of aware, but that's kind of what I'm using as reference. I will have it posted in Google Classroom just so it's easier that I don't have to go back and forth. You can watch it on another screen. The problem with it, if it's only 8 blocks wide versus ours game board, which is 10. So we do have to add some stuff in there, but that gives you the opportunity to add your own as we go through. But we're going to place, and we have to place the assembly files for these. So what we can do, instead of having to choose through all these ones and choose that, there is the option to go right here under component type, Autodesk Assembly, and it'll just shrink all of those ones up. And so what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to grab all of them on that, hit open, and I'm going to place all of them into the documents here for that. You do need your game board as well. I just have this one set up really quickly. Whoops, helps if I go to place underneath of that one. And so you do have to have the game board. Also, game board is not an assembly. That was the one that was an individual part. So you do have to go find that one also by turning this one back to the original, or you can go to IPT. There's your individual ones if you need them. But game board, I'm going to open. Helps if I click on it again, apparently. Well, I don't know what I'm doing there. I'll try this again. Game board, there we go. I'm just going to place it right here. I'm going to hit escape. Now, like all of these, I'm going to go up to view. I'm going to do visual style, and I'm going to change it to shaded with edges just so that you have a little bit more visualization. You'll notice I never changed it from gold. I kind of got in a hurry, just wanted to make this one as it is. So the piece kind of that we don't want to move in this scenario for right now is going to be this game backboard. So I'm just going to click on the game board. I'm going to right click, and I'm going to ground that one. Now all of these pieces are currently set in their right way. If you did not use the front view and assemble them the correct way, you may have to constrain these a little bit different. And we are also going to add more of these parts. You're going to add more of these as we go along. This is just for this first reference of that picture that we had earlier for that. And so with that, I'm going to take a screenshot here of one of the pieces so I can bring that one up here later on. I apologize. We're just going to actually bring this one back. This is how I'm going to set it up. Again, that's the picture that's over there. This one's going to slide in right here, and then we do have 2 extra spots over here off to the side as well. That's what I'm currently looking at. With that, we are going to have the blue long piece down here at the bottom. What I want to do is flush all of these to the game board. So I'm going to go to Assemble, Constrain, Flush, and since all of these are their own parts now, an assembly part, they all will move with their color, their originated color. And so, for example, the front of this game board, I want to be flush with, let's say, the blue one. And that places it right there. And hit Apply. And I can just do that with all of these so that they all are there hooked onto the game board in one fashion or another. You can choose the game board. You can choose the front of the parts that we've already used. Makes no difference on that one. I should probably use a different example. Let's try the red one here. Front of this one, flush. Front of this one. Again, it brings it back. May not look like it's flat with the piece, but it is. Again, I'm just going to constrain these so that they are kind of in place. I can slide them around, move them kind of where I want them. I can test where I want them as well. Notice that they are not rotating because they are flush because of the way that I set them up. If you set them up a little bit differently, you may have to constrain these a little bit different. If you need that, bring one of the instructors over for that one. All right, I'm going to hit cancel on that. This one's going to go down here in this bottom corner right here. So we need to figure out how we're going to constrain that one. The orange one's going to go on top of it, and then the yellow one on top of that one. And again, what I'm using is this as a reference off of my other screen. So you'll see blue at the bottom, yellow, and then, or orange, then yellow. Helps if I get my colors right. So to do that, I'm going to constrain. I'm going to grab this inside edge, and I'm going to mate that to the bottom of these blue pieces right here. And then I'm going to hit OK, because I do want to pull this one. So I'm going to pull it this way so that I can constrain this one and mate it with the other side of that one. So constrain here, flip this around, and I'm going to mate that to here. I'm going to hit OK. And again, just like anything else, once I figure out where I want it or if I have it exactly right, I'm going to constrain and try to move it. The whole idea of this, though, is when you are setting these in, you kind of need to visualize, will these parts or how are these parts going to fall into place on this one, because we're going to be moving them from down to here in our video on the next one. And so, again, you're setting up like a whole entire game here that's not even been played. I'm going to constrain and mate the tops of this one to the bottom of the orange one. I'm going to hit apply. I do the bottom of this yellow one to this section of the orange one. Again, either one of those will be useful. I hit apply, cancel. I do have to move these so that I can constrain them. And so now I'm going to constrain. And maybe I'll do this one first. I'll grab the inside of this yellow one to the inside of this orange one, hit apply, grab the outside edge of this one because they're all going to move together now. And I'm going to grab this wall and hit apply. I'm going to cancel. And then if I bring this over here again, now we have a green one going vertically. We have this purple one vertically and the blue one going horizontally. So let's do the green one and the purple one next. So green one gets brought in down here, which I just realized I'm going to have to go back and fix because my green one is backwards. I constrained it wrong. Let me open that one up really quick and I will fix that one. Somehow I screwed that one up. You can ignore this part of the video if I haven't cut it out. I'm just... There we go. Strain here, flush here, one offset, okay, Control S. Alright, there we go. I did fix it. Alright, so the green one is backwards. I could have actually just undone this and constrained it opposite in here by looking at the other side, but I do need to fix it for later if I want to remake this video. Anyways, this is flat with the surface. I need this edge pointing down so I can constrain and grab this part, mate it with this part here, and it flips it going that way. If I hit OK, it will still slide side to side, so I'm going to need to stop that one next. But I can also put the purple one in now and do that in a little bit. I'm going to do constrain, grabbing the bottom of this purple one because it's going to flip this down. So that's going to point this one to the right. So if I grab that one and put that one there, it constrains it and so it points out. And I can hit apply. From there I can go the inside of this one to the inside of that one, hit apply, and then I can do like the inside of this green piece to the blue piece. And I'm using a lot of mates. You could try to figure out how to do a flush with this as well. It's entirely up to you. And I can hit apply. If I look back at that picture, I have the red one pointing down and I have the blue one right here off to the side. So I'm going to put that blue one into place. They do not need to go in order right now of the way that they would fall. I'm just doing it this way because I'm just working from left to right. So that's going to run into this one. I'm going to hit apply. And then I can flush actually the top of this one to the top of this one to, whoops, helps for clicking the right things. Constrain this one, flush to the top of that one, and that lines it up that way. Hit apply. Red piece, I'm going to move down just a little bit. I can constrain the bottom of this one's going to go right here where this green one's hitting in that picture. I can hit apply. I can do a mate of the inside of here. Actually, I can do a flush. Constrain, I can do a flush with this wall and this wall right here. And hit apply. Now your goal is we're going to try to get rid of 6 lines of this. And I don't care if there's a hole in one line or whatever. Like sometimes in Tetris, you might not get this section full, and then you get rid of some lines up here. Your goal is to get rid of 8 lines. So we're going to do 2 together. So I want to get rid of this line and this one right here. One easy way to do that is just drop another yellow one right there. So to do that, we're going to hit constrain. Not constrain, sorry, we're going to hit place, and I need that yellow one. So I'm going to go here, and I'm going to go find the yellow one, open, and I'm just going to place one in here for right now. And this is probably the easier way to go about it, is figure out what you want and then place those individually now. So constrain. This I'm going to flush with any one of these pieces. Hit apply. I'm going to put this against this wall over here with a mate. I'm going to hit apply. And then I might do a flush from the top of this one to here. And that drops it into place. And I hit apply. And now you're just working your way up. You're going to basically do 6 lines that can be filled up throughout this. Again, you can leave spaces. You can make them placed here. If you don't know how Tetris works, I recommend going and playing the game quick, just so you can kind of see how it works on that one. But we are not getting rid of anything. It is going to stay like this one, and then you build up from here the rest of your Tetris game that you want to play. Otherwise, that is all that I have for you at this moment on this one. Good luck.